This podcast is brought to you by People's Food Co-op, a community-owned grocery store in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin and Rochester, Minnesota, that promotes local farmers and producers through an emphasis on fresh, healthy, sustainable food. Anyone can shop. Everyone is welcome. For more information, visit them online at pfc.coop. This podcast is also brought to you by Trempealeau County Tourism. Whether your idea of fun is bicycling, hiking, or canoeing, afterwards head into the heart of one of their welcoming communities to experience historic architecture, independent shops, and locally owned dining establishments. Visit Trempealeau County Tourism online. We sat down with George Wilkinson, aka Alligator Orange. We chatted about musical influences, the origins of the moniker, a new music video hitting YouTube, and Alligator Orange's new EP called Stick Figure Songs. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
I've been traveling somewhere far away where nobody knows where it is or what goes on. I'm the only one who sees.
All right, so my name is George Wilkinson. I'm originally from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, so not too far from La Crosse. The main thing that really led me to music is my dad's been in a band for as long as I can remember. He just is in a cover band based out of Eau Claire. They're called the Poor Boys, just a little plug there. But yeah, so he's been in a band all of his life, and I picked up the guitar because of him. So that kind of translated to why I wanted to start making music in the first place. So
kind of got turned on to you through your new video, The Recipe, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But, you know, it kind of calls some influences to me. You know, I was thinking of stuff even locally, kind of like Sleeping Jesus, which is a band I wouldn't know that I like. That's kind of similar. This kind of power, flowery sort of pop music in some sense. Like I think of like Brett Dennen. Who are some of your influences that kind of sent you down the path?
I would say, so my main influence, it's kind of basic, but the Beatles, obviously huge influence. As artists, I just think they're incredible and the legacy they left, and their music is just really enjoyable. So that's just my main influence. I'm also really into bands like The Strokes was a big influence on the EP, and just sounds kind of like Mac DeMarco is another big influence, I would say. Vampire Weekend. So just kind of those indie rock bands that I've just really been into recently. So,
you know, and not to put this on you, but I mean, I instantly thought of Beach Boys in some sense, which may sound weird, but you know, I kind of thought of this sort of music kind of reminds me of this sort of California sort of sunshine pop sort of stuff.
For sure. I could totally see that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun and it's enjoyable. So yeah, talking about it, Alligator Orange, where did that name come from?
So kind of a funny story. So I was struggling with coming up with a name for this project for quite a while, and I knew I didn't want to use my own name. So I took inspiration from, you know, Tame Impala or Car Seat Headrest, who kind of just use different aliases, even though it's one, like working under one person. So I knew I wanted a name, and I was just struggling for the longest time. And I've always had these orange pair of Crocs that I've just always had. And so the name kind of came from that. I was thinking of just doing Orange Crocodile or something. And I kept thinking of things until Alligator Orange just came up, and I just thought it sounded cool. So I just went with it.
I actually owned a pair of orange Crocs. I don't know if
I
feel embarrassed or not. Do you rock them?
Oh, of course. It's so comfy. Yeah.
So, you know, like a reference. So new video, The Recipe. How did that song come about? And then what led to the video?
So the song came about, I started writing it in the beginning of quarantine. So probably around April of 2020. And I've always wanted to write a song where the message and the lyrics are kind of sad, but it sounds happy. So that was always in my mind.
Do you remember when the sun used to shine forever? Now let's just pretend. Girl, come with me, let's go and find the recipe. to make those days again.
Basically, the song is about like longing for days in the past, and I was really thinking that in isolation. And yeah, so that's how that kind of came about. Yeah, so me and Dakota are actually, we go to the University of Wisconsin La Crosse. We're roommates together, so we both are involved like with different creative aspects. Obviously, his is videography, and we kind of both like reached out to each other because I make music, he does the video, so we thought we'd just combine them together. And I know he really wanted to do a music video because he's never done one before, so he thought might as well try it out. And I thought it would just be a fun thing to do, and it just kind of happened, and it was a really fun process, and it came out great, I think.
So you also have an EP that came out relatively recently, Stick Figure Songs. What was the impetus for that collection of songs? You kind of reference COVID, which I'm sure gave you a little bit of time to do some work or maybe creative impetus for that. So how did those collection of songs come together?
So they all started, like I said, back in quarantine in 2020. And that's when I really started to pick up the recording aspect of the music. I've always loved playing guitar and that kind of stuff, but I've never actually recorded and sat down and like tried to mix and add other instruments and that kind of stuff. So I took the time out of quarantine to learn how to do that when I wasn't really doing anything else. So that's how it kind of started. I kept making the songs just in my dorm room and at home too, just writing them and recording them. And I was really kind of debating whether or not to release them because I didn't know like what my friends would think, or I kind of kept it a secret from my parents for the longest time too. Like they didn't even know I was recording anything or doing anything. But I just decided it was probably no use just having them sit on my laptop forever. And if I really wanted to express my feelings or my thoughts or whatever, I should probably just release it. And that's just kind of how it happened. And I looked up like how to release it on all the streaming platforms, and that was a whole process. But yeah, that I would say that was basically my inspiration and how things kind of carried out from there.
What's next for you? Do you have any plans to do anything with this music, play out, or have you? Or
so the thing is, I really do want to play live, and I'm trying to look into some things to do, maybe even just doing some open mics or whatever. My dream is just to have a band, and I've been jamming with some people in the La Crosse area, just some students and some of my friends even. And I'm trying to find maybe like a 4 or 5 piece that could help carry these songs out live, which I would love to do eventually. That's all for that part. But as far as for what's next for me as a release is trying to get another EP out. And that's kind of my main focus has been for ever since I released Stick Figure Songs, to get this next EP rolling out. Thinking it'll be around 4 or 5 songs. I got a lot of them already recorded, just got to finish mixing and mastering them. So hopefully soon we'll have that done and get it out. And I don't really have an exact time frame for that yet, but hopefully soon we'll see that come out. So
nice. So if people want to find out more, check out the album, check out the video, what's the best spot for them to go to?
I would say I'm probably most active on Instagram. I have a link in my bio there where you can go check out all my stuff. But as far as if you want to support me directly or find out more information, you can go to my Bandcamp page, or my YouTube page is also a great resource. And all my music you can find on any streaming platform you want to use. So yeah.
And one more question. So, off this EP, is there any, besides the recipe, which I just been listening to the last couple of days, is there any other songs on there that you're particularly proud of?
Oh man, I want to say the one that I'm most proud of musically is probably Imaginary Home. That's probably my favorite song that I've made so far.
I'm so sick of it not being myself sometimes. Living through the lens you all want to view me by. What would you think if I let you through the door?
It's just so hard because I made them so long ago, and I feel like I've been like improving every aspect, but I don't know. I think that one I'm probably the most proud of for sure.
So it's like you love them, but you're kind of embarrassed by it in some way.
I know. Yeah. I totally feel that. So yeah.
Cool.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.